Hello, lovely listeners. We are here on a Friday.
Yes.
We're usually here on a Friday, but it's the off Friday, and we're still here.
Yes.
Because we have another wonderful interview for you. Today we are talking to Rebecca, aka Becca Beck, if you follow the similar Twitter sphere that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
She's the founder of BANDED PR, which you're going to learn all about in this interview.
You want me to chime in?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
It's all right.
This is why you edit things.
To be fair, we're recording this at 8:40 p.m., which doesn't sound late for a lot of you, but for me and Leah, this is when our brains start turning off because we know we're going to have to get up super early to go to the gym.
Yeah.
But such a good interview. Like, it's always, me and Lee were talking, it's always kind of a different interview when you have someone who's like in the PR scene, like in journalist scene, like we are, compared to when you're talking to an artist. So I feel like the conversations are way more relaxed and there's a lot of thought sharing, if you will, between all three of us because we're kind of dealing with similar things. We're kind of dealing with, things that, where she works more on the interview and artist side, learning new perspectives on that process.
Yeah. So hope you enjoy the interview. I'm Leah.
I'm Beth Ann.
And this is She Will Rock You.
Where are they getting a dub in a CBS executive meeting?
No. Bitch, don't touch my thermostat.
The ghost be like, hold up, before I haunt you, let me turn down the thermostat. Who is this band?
We're on page 1, guys. This is She Will Rock You. Okay, we are joined today by the wonderful founder of BANDED PR, Rebecca, also Becca Beck, because as I was saying before we started recording, calling people by their real name after seeing their Instagram or Twitter handle forever feels wrong. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love listening to this podcast. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Thank you. We love everything you do over at BANDED PR.
Thank you. You guys are always so supportive and I appreciate that so much.
We have to be. We're rolling in the same circles, doing the same thing. So
that's right.
For sure.
So to start, tell us about yourself and I guess how you got into music, because you're super involved in lots of things in the scene.
Yeah, I kind of got here doing a lot of things too. So I originally went to school for PR and event planning, and I was like, oh, I think who doesn't want to plan a concert? So there was a local promotions company that put on shows downtown. And I basically just bugged the crap out of them to like let me be a part of their team and help out with shows. So I started out promoting shows, which is like not really my forte. I don't really like selling tickets. But it was a learning experience and I got to meet a lot of people, which got me into blogging. And interviewing artists. That's kind of how I guess BANDED kind of started, because I interviewed artists through that company and did some projects in school where I had to interview them. And I'm like, I want to put these online. And I always enjoyed writing. So I started a blog in college and it wasn't BANDED. So it's kind of grown and evolved. I used to be more career focused, like working in PR, how to network, all that fun stuff. And then I just realized I want to do everything music. So worked in promotions, worked in radio doing promotions for 2 different companies, iHeart, and then a smaller local company. I did VIP at a venue for a while. And I worked for a PR agency all like throughout this after college. And then my most recent gig before COVID, I worked in marketing for Live Nation doing festivals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then now I'm still kind of doing that, but different companies. And then with Live Nation, I'm doing some wonderfully fun customer service stuff for festivals on top of everything with Banded. And yeah.
I love that you were like, hey, you just keep bugging people. Because I mean, that's how you do it. That's how, really, honestly, that's how you get involved in things. You just got to ask and then just like keep asking until they give you like a solid no.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I was just trying to I was living in a city. So I live in Cincinnati now, and that's where I grew up too. And, everyone's like, you can't do music in Cincinnati. So like, I was finding every outlet that I could do music. I'm like, don't tell me I can't do music here. I will do music here. Do we have concerts here? We do. So there's definitely opportunity.
Totally.
I imagine that it's a very weird time to be working in customer service for festivals.
10 out of 10, never want to do again, honestly.
I cannot imagine between just the weather related stuff that's happened, the COVID related stuff. Like, it's just not a good year.
Please tell me you're not doing customer service for Blue Ridge Rock Fest. Because I imagine that is a shit show of a shit show.
It could be worse. It could be much worse than what you're doing now.
Thankfully I'm not. I listened to I saw that you did that, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening right away because I want to hear her feedback on it, because that just sounds like, I think I might have quit on the spot if I was doing customer
You would
service.
not have been alone.
Yeah. It's a really divisive festival. Either some people absolutely loved it, and then there's a lot of people who are like considering legal action right now, especially for the lack of ADA compliance, which is a big one.
Not good.
Yeah,
it's interesting how you can have people attend the same festival and come out with two completely different experiences.
I think people are determined. They're going to listen to the music, and that's great. And I think that's awesome. And I loved the music I listened to. But then I think there's an aspect of you got to point out the bad things, right? The issues to getting to the music, because that's just as important as the music itself.
Yeah, I mean, the music is important, but if, people aren't safe, or, you don't know where you're spending the rest of the night, or you don't know how you're going to get off of the grounds, like that's going to affect how you're experiencing the music too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Again, glad that I made the decision not to go before it even happened.
Yeah. That was a good call.
So back to Banded. What is Banded, and how did that get started?
Yeah, so Banded is a music site / boutique PR agency that I founded and run. Our tagline is where artists and bands and artists band together. I said that wrong. I cannot talk. Where artists and fans band together. That's our tagline. Jeez. But so we have a decent sized staff of writers and photographers, and the main thing with that is when anyone expresses interest, all I say is, if you love it, you can cover it, because that's 100% the reason that I started it. I've written for different outlets, and I read different outlets, and a big thing that I don't like is, one, the gossip. Two, I hate going to a website and being having to filter through ads to get to one article. And I just don't want to write about something I don't like. I'm more of a person, if I don't like it, we're just not going to mention it. I don't want to write about something I don't like. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't really know what outlet does this, so I'm just gonna start my own. And that's where we're at.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that because you can tell. I obviously read like every Struts show review that ever gets written. You can tell the ones that like knew what they were getting into, and then the ones who were just sent there an assignment and they're like, I went to a show. Here's some pictures. The end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious when you can tell someone wasn't into it and they're just kind of reporting. And that's the whole thing is like, Banded isn't a news outlet. It's an outlet to share experiences and get people to listen to the music we love. So yeah, we don't want to just say, hey, the Struts played this local venue. This is what they played. It was cool. Here's some photos. Like we want to give you a little bit more than that.
The amount of articles I read exactly like that is really sad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it. Like when I'm trying to like get press for artists and I'm just looking to see what other people write about artists. Because when I write about albums, I like to see what other people have to say about things. And I feel like half of the articles I pull up are, one, they just copied and pasted a press release they got, or two, they're just like, hey, this artist released an album. Here you go. Here it is. Like, cool. Like we didn't all need to do that.
It's not doing anybody any favors.
No, I yeah, not at all.
So you and your staff, who are like the nicest people ever that I've interacted with, several of them now in the Instagram world, you guys do create some like the greatest, most interesting content out there. What keeps you guys going other than just like writing about stuff you love?
Yeah, I think our staff has like a unique bond. We communicate via Slack and we talk all the time. We have different channels for like brainstorming. And then we have other channels where we talk about mental health and like we check in on each other. And if like we're having a bad day and need to talk through something, people will comment and share advice and stuff. So I don't know, it's kind of like a little family, and we all just kind of want to see each other succeed and be happy and, you know, enjoy life day to day and figure out how we can help each other make our dreams come true in the music world, you know.
And you guys are all spread out too, like you're not all in the same place.
I don't really know that anyone's in the same city. So I'm in Ohio. We have some people, someone in Nashville, a few people spread out through Texas, LA. We even have people in Italy and Germany too, which is crazy.
They get to cover the European legs of the tours.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I'm super excited for tours to come back for them so they can go out and do that.
Totally.
And so I know that you are a strong supporter of the fangirl/fan to music business pipeline and bands hiring fans. I'd love to hear some more of your thoughts on that and how that factors into what you guys do as well.
Yeah. So this is like kind of interesting because I feel like at the beginning of me trying to get into the music industry, I was like, oh, I gotta suppress my inner fangirl if I want to get anywhere. Like I have to be chill. I can't let people know that I'm like a fan, you know? Which is total bullshit. And I realize that now. Because when I did, you know, let out my fangirl, I succeeded. When I did that, worked with that promotions company, I sold the most tickets when I was promoting a band that I absolutely loved. I sold the most tickets out of our whole team because I was passionate about their music. So I think like once realizing that, I've been a big advocate of that. And with Banded in our content, I let everyone talk about their fangirl experiences and, you know, waiting all day to get to the barricade and meeting the artists. And I mean, everyone's a freaking fangirl of something. So
Yeah.
there's no reason to hide it. And I think it adds to the content. It makes it interesting. It makes it easier to connect to. And, you know, fangirls freaking run the world. We're buying your tickets. We're buying your merch. We know you better than anyone. So.
No, exactly. Well, when we were talking with Name 3 Songs, another podcast that specifically targets the music industry, they talk about how like not widely accepted it is in like the journalistic side of music to be a fangirl. Like you have to just be like, keep it cool, keep it cool. And like, I get it because you don't want to be like, you have to know the point, but like to know like, hey, you make incredible music. Like you're right. It adds so much more depth, more flavor and color to an interview. So it should be more widely accepted.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's a line, like you still have to be respectful of people, but I think it's 100% okay to be like, hey, I'm a fan of your music and whatever. I think for me, when I've had interviews and I've expressed how much, you know, a piece of music meant to me, or you know, the artist appreciated that and they could tell by my questions that I was actually a fan of their music, and it made that interview and that conversation 100 times better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they get asked the same 6 stale questions in every interview, and they're tired too.
Yeah. And if you're a fan, you're going to, one, know that they get asked the same questions because you're reading all of those interviews. And two, you're going to have more insight and some interesting questions to ask them. So, and I think they really appreciate that. And typically they'll be vocal and let you know that they do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the most surprising thing you've learned working in the various spots you've worked in the industry?
I don't really know. I think it was surprising to me. I don't really know that it really is surprising to anyone, but how unprepared everyone is. Like,
I love
like,
that.
I feel like no one's organized. like with festivals, you bring in thousands and thousands of people, and you would think it would be like clean cut, like everything is organized, ready to go. And they're just, you know what? People are still scrambling.
That's good to know. I kind of assumed it was all put together too. So
yeah. I mean, it's put together for the most part, but you know, there's still some, you're just like, how is this not together? Same with like working with artists and getting music out. Like, you're like, how do you don't have a whole plan? Well, you do, but they just wanted to put it together in a week and get the music out. So it's chaotic.
Leah and I have had some PR companies.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Not to drag anyone, but yes,
we're not
exactly
going to drag
talking
anyone.
about.
Some of them are like the best ones we've ever worked with, and they are reoccurring, you know, people that come to us. And then there's just a few, like maybe one or two that is just like, we're just like, hey, and we'll send email after email after email after they came to us with an artist.
Yeah.
And then they never answer us. And I'm like, cool. Let us know when you want your artist on the show, because here's 7 dates I sent you, but they've all passed now. So I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, see?
Everyone's just making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
They really are. And some are better at, you know, pulling it all together.
Fake it till you make it, guys. Fake it till you make
pretty
it.
much.
What advice do you have for anyone who wants to get involved either on like a journalism side or the promotions side, since you've worked in both?
Honestly, just get experience however you can. I mean, in both getting that experience to build your portfolio or, you know, getting experience on site is everything. And I think that's going to help you get more opportunities, especially with writing. Like everyone just wants to see your writing samples when you're going for jobs and things. So And if you don't have opportunities, make them yourself, which is exactly what I did with my blog and how I kind of got into journalism, music journalism. So if you can't find the opportunity, make it yourself.
Love that. So one thing I've always wondered is you guys make the best playlists, and I don't know how you do it because there's so much new music every week, and yet you guys still crank it out every Monday.
A plus. And I know I succeeded when you're covering an artist that I've been listening to. Like, I know I found the right music.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. I love that. So Staff Picks is a group effort, and it's so nice because I mean, sometimes people will put stuff on there that I've never even heard of. So it's like a discovery for me every week as well. But we just have a collaboration playlist, and every Sunday, everyone has to get their picks in. And then we bring it all together. And I don't know what everyone else does, but I make sure like Friday through Sunday, I'm like digging through new releases, and I should be better at it, but I should go through our email and all the PR emails we get, but it's just a little overwhelming. So it's a lot of digging through Spotify for new releases for me.
Yeah.
It's such a tiny window too, like to get it. That's why I'm
is.
like, how do you guys curate this in like 48 hours?
Well, especially
I know.
last week, I had 4 albums drop of artists that I like a lot. So, and I'm now just finishing those 4 albums. Like, it's just so much content on Fridays.
It is a lot, which Spirit Box released their album, and I dropped the ball. I was listening to the whole album like, okay, yes, I'm going to put them on Staff Picks, but I want to pick my favorite song. And then, of course, I couldn't decide, and then I never added it. I'm like, oh,
it's hard.
Damn it. And
that's a great album.
On it too.
Start to finish. That album is solid. It is hard to find one that is just sticks out above the other. I think they're all just on a very good equal platform of just being a great song.
Yeah, it is a really great album through and through. So I'm like, I couldn't just in that moment pick a favorite to add, because I feel like we all kind of put a solid amount of effort into the songs we choose, and we really want to like them. So yeah. So thanks for listening to our playlist.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I find new things all the time, and then it makes me happy that like something that showed up in my release radar also shows up, and I'm like, do I have cool taste in music?
Am I better than everyone else?
Yeah, basically.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, we dabbled in playlists at one point, and we were like, no, this is not for us.
Upkeep.
This is hard.
See, I love
upkeep.
playlists. It's like, oh, if I could do that for a living, I would do it.
I would much rather listen to playlists that other people curate. I don't even curate my own playlists. Like,
same.
I'm really bad at it. So
I do all the time.
It's interesting because playlist pitching has become like a full-time job now, where these major record labels are just like, I'm sure you guys deal with them too, just always like, hey, can you throw this artist on your playlist? Like, you can hire people to do that negotiation now.
Yeah, we do get those, and it's cool, but oftentimes it's really frustrating because I put a lot of effort into piecing these playlists together, and these pitches, clearly they did not listen to the playlist and like pick up the vibe of it. And I'm like, you didn't, like, this song does not match my playlist at all. Why would I add it? I'm like, it's not even the same genre.
if it makes you feel better, we get those for our podcast as well.
Yes.
They'll be like, we see that you're a music podcast. Are you interested in this
but
hip-hop
different font,
artist?
different font. Like, it's either like, we see that you in smaller font
music
podcast.
podcast.
Rock podcast.
Yes. So if
God.
anyone's listening who sends those emails, stop copy pasting things. and
They're
just,
going
like,
in a no folder in
take
our
2
Gmail
seconds.
account.
Yeah, really. We actually have that no folder.
We do.
Oh, that's funny.
What artists inspire you the most to do what you do?
Ooh. Right now, especially with Banded, is all the current rock bands that are, getting this younger generation into rock. So like Greta Van Fleet, Dirty Honey, The Struts, had to throw them in for you, which I do like them a lot. Yeah, just all these bands bringing back rock and roll and, grinding and creating really good music and really great live shows.
I was gonna say, and they're starting to get their touring up and running as well, which is super exciting.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool.
Oh no, keep going.
It's just really cool that working with BANDED, a lot of them interact with us and interact with their fans, and I think that's really exciting, and it makes you want to cheer them on even more. So, and support them on, our website or our playlists and all that fun stuff.
That's what people who don't support smaller bands miss out on, is they're so interactive and like so happy to have their fans.
Yeah.
You don't get that with like a Taylor Swift level artist. Like, I love Taylor Swift, but she can't react to her 5 million fans, whereas like Dirty Honey is super responsive because it's a really small following and they are really appreciative of it, which I love.
Yeah. And it makes it even sweeter if they do blow up. You got to watch that progression.
Yeah.
Like, you were right there with them. And I think that's like one of the best parts about music.
It's the most rewarding feeling as a fan. When you watch someone who is small just become this insanely big artist.
Yeah.
Is this when you tell your Lizzo story, Beth Ann?
I was on the ground floor before anyone knew who Lizzo was. It was January 2019, and I found her song, and she blew up 4 months later.
Oh my gosh, you and my friend Safety Tess could bond over that, because she's always like, I saw Lizzo before she blew up.
Yes. I was so proud. Like, I was like, I found her when she only had 200,000 followers on Instagram.
I love that.
I love that.
Beth Ann will never let this die.
No,
you hold on to that moment.
Point of pride.
Speaking of touring, I know you've been to a lot of shows. You've worked a lot of shows. What's the best show you've ever seen?
Oh my gosh. This is so hard, but I feel like I'm gonna say Harry Styles the first time I ever saw him, because after that show, me and my friend were like, what the heck? We have to experience that again. And then we bought tickets that night to see him again that week. So
I love that.
It was just that good. It was just that good.
I love that. Are you going this tour at all?
I am, and it's killing me because all my friends have seen him already and are gonna see him again, and I have to wait till the end of October. But it'll be worth it. I know the struggle.
I'm not even a big Harry fan, but I have friends who have gone, and I'm like, that looks like a cool show.
Yeah.
He's just like a really good entertainer. I mean, I think his music is really fun, and I really like the album he just released, but he just really knows how to interact with the crowd, and he's just a funny guy. And he has great outfits too. So
that's true.
Yes. Yeah. I want nothing more than a Rolling Stones biopic where Mick is played by Harry. That's all I want in life.
I know. He would be so good at it. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times I've watched the SNL skit where he plays Mick Jagger, because it's just so good.
We need it. We need it now while he's like this perfect age.
Yes.
Someone make that happen. Who's still on your must-see list that you haven't seen yet?
I would say Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, which I was supposed to see next week at ACL, but because of COVID, she canceled all her dates this year. Which is a bummer. Yes. I feel like she's a really big one. The Rolling Stones, which I was supposed to see too. I still have hope for them. We'll see what happens. But honestly, a lot of the older artists that I'm like, I don't know how much time I have left to see them.
Right.
No, I feel you on
yeah.
Rolling Stones. I missed their DC date like right before COVID. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Charlotte date. And then, the world exploded. So
Yep.
fingers crossed they
Yeah.
announce a new tour because I'll go wherever to see them. But I need it to happen.
Right. Hopefully it'll happen.
One last tour.
Yes.
All right. Before I throw it to Beth Ann for the lightning round questions, where can people find you and Banded and all the things online?
Cool. You can find me at Becca Beck on Instagram, Twitter, literally everything. I have the same username. Same with Banded. That username is Banded PR, and we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, Facebook, all the things. Trying to work that TikTok magic, but yeah,
It's hard.
it is hard.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 general themed questions and 2 fall/spooky season themed questions.
Okay.
But first we'll start with general. If you could give a TED Talk on any like minor/day-to-day subject, like what good coffee should taste like, how many plants are 2 plants, what would that subject be?
Can it be music related?
Yes.
Sure.
I would do it on why rock is not dead.
Yes, we approve.
Yes.
Awesome. Please attend.
We need a bonus episode. We'll invite you on to do the TED Talk as a bonus episode. How about
Yes.
that?
Okay.
Yes.
I love that.
Next question. Give me a positive phrase that you would put on a cat poster.
Positive
Either
phrases.
off the top of your head or previously written by someone.
I didn't read your questions before we started this. So that just took me.
I don't recommend
by
reading my
surprise.
questions ahead of time, Leah.
Oh
I
gosh.
do not recommend it.
A positive. I mean, I don't really know if this is positive, but it was the first thing that popped in my head, and that would be, "It is what it is."
I like that. I see the cat. I see the cat hanging from the tree
Yeah.
branch.
I
Is
just feel
what
like
it
it
is.
works really well with a cat.
Yeah. Okay. On to our spooky seasoned flavored questions.
Okay.
Would you rather be stuck in a corn maze with a werewolf chasing you, or be trapped in a haunted mansion with Gary Busey?
What the hell?
Oh gosh.
This is because we just watched Buddy Holly's story.
Yes,
That's what
this is
inspired
fully
this.
inspired by that question.
I think I'm gonna go with the mansion just because I hate running and I don't feel like trying to run away from a werewolf in a corn maze.
But then you have to run away from Gary Busey. You
But I
gotta
feel like
hide.
he would be easier to run from, would he not?
This is probably true.
If he catches
I think he
you-
only has the speed of maybe 2 miles per hour.
And if he
Yeah,
catches you, you're not turning into a werewolf. So like,
He's just going to talk
True.
your ear off about the glory days. And probably like, I don't know, acid. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I'll survive.
Fair enough.
It's a better survival rate, you know?
And then the last question. Leah, the question is changing for the first time
no, it's
in
not.
the history of our pod. I've changed the question just slightly for spooky season. And because Becca listens to a lot of our episodes, I didn't feel like it was fair to ask what kind of cereal would you be and why, because she's thought it through. I know it. So instead I am asking, if you could choose one of the following cereals, which would you be and why? And the choices are Boo Berry, Frankenberry, or Count Chocula. I'll even accept the Monster Mash that came out this year for their 50th or 60th anniversary. It's okay. I had some because I had to.
It is good.
It is good.
I have not had that. I think I'm going to go with Boo Berry.
Good choice.
Yes. Somehow I knew you were going to center it around the Halloween cereal. Count Chocula popped up in my head immediately.
We're becoming too predictable.
If you have an answer that you are dying to give, I will allow it.
No, I don't think so. I had my cereal, but I didn't really know why. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
Fair enough.
I can save that for another time.
Yeah.
That's all I have my questions.
Yeah, I think that's the last question. So thank you so much for joining us. Everyone
Thank
go check out
you.
Banded.
Yes.
Go read their stuff. Listen to their playlists. They're awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you like this show. Special thanks to Death of Fawn for our intro riff. You can visit our website at shewillrockyou.com. There you'll find links to our social, the show notes, and a place where you can contact us. Other than that, don't do drugs.